So hello, welcome to another Tips for Cliff video. Today we're taking a look at Inferno, sent in by Alex. He said that it was fine if I talked about James and Steve, or that they gave the okay or whatever, so if you're not happy with that, attack him, not me. Some context, this is a pretty low elo game. It's around 6k. It's probably the equivalent of like a gold nova, I think, in the old matchmaking algorithm, if you want anything analogous to compare it to. That being said, I'll see what I can see. I will say if you want to send videos or demo reviews in, that's great, but it would be much more useful if you could provide some context as to what it is you actually want me to talk about. Like if there's a certain site that you don't know how to hold, or a certain position you're not sure on, or something like that, because otherwise there's the risk that I just end up talking generally about the map, and the video ends up being far too long and not particularly useful. Because in this instance, I'm just going to be commenting on stuff that I see from everybody, or you three guys at least, and what I like and what I don't like. So immediately, things I don't like, I'm pissed around on Inferno. Both of you are playing the more passive angles on Inferno, so it tells me you don't really understand the difference between angle selection. The problem with these passive angles is that when this smoke fades, as it will, because it's very early smoke, the T can isolate both of these fights. He can isolate James here, and he can also isolate Alex if he plays on the corner. So these two angles are not good when you have a crossfire. You play the fadeaway angles or the passive angles when you don't have a teammate with you, so that you can minimize the risk. Meaning that if you take a fight and you don't want to take that fight because you're just playing for information or because you get dinked, you can move away. However, when you have a crossfire, you want to play committed angles so that when the T peeks into middle, they're committed to fighting both of you at once. So this positioning is not good. Also, it's not a good idea to play solo apps, especially on pistol round. But generally, actually, it's not very good. It's fallen out of meta rotation because it's pretty favourable for any T angle to just isolate and kill you. So it's not a great position. And yeah, you're jiggling, but you're not jiggling properly. And so to jiggle properly, you have to be jiggling in such a way that there's effectively no chance of you being hit by a bullet. But because your movement's not very good, the way you're jiggling, it's very easy for the T, if they had good timing, to peek and hit a headshot. So you have to ask the question, well, if I'm jiggling, the point of jiggling is to gain information. Is this information worth risking my life for? No, not at all. Because who fucking cares if they're in apps, right? Like, if they're in apps, you see that they're in apps, you fall away, they're in apps, okay? It doesn't matter, though. You don't have, like, you're not down banana, you don't have map control. They can just go back. It's not useful to know that they're in apps. Besides which, if they're rushing, James would be able to hear it anyway. So here's an immediate fix for this pistol round. James should play on the committed angle, so he should play on the left side. Alex should play either on the committed angle, which is cubby, or on the more passive angle. The reason I say this is because Alex is the newbie, which means more space has to be afforded him to make him feel comfortable. If you're playing with Alex and you have a lot more time in the game than him, you need to be doing your best to make the game as easy as possible for him, because you want to maximize his impact so that he can develop confidence, and by developing confidence, enjoy the game a lot more, because he can't have the same confidence because he doesn't have the same mechanics yet. So instead, what's happened is Alex is playing an isolated position, and he's playing it in a way where his teammate can't even bait for him to get an easy kill. So James should play committed on left side, and Alex should either play committed on right, or he can play more passive, either way, so that when the T's commit onto a mid push, they have to worry about both angles and you can crossfire. And then from apps to have eyes on apps, I would probably play from barrel and pistol round and just spot run up. James will hear if they rush because he has porch position, and it's very rare on lower elos that anyone would ever lurk out apps. Very rare that there would be a pistol lurk out strat. So the advantage is that if they do push short and James is playing the committed angle and you're watching apps from this kind of angle, you can quite quickly rotate into a position where you can help and bait for James and get him easier kills. So yeah, this positioning of pistol round on CC side, just to be a bit blunt, is shit. Even for low elo. So James gets 2 kills. I think will show you that they actually get an isolated fight on one of you, no? Wait, Steven takes first contact. I don't want to spend too long on these rounds, but Yeah, but you know he has a Tech 9, so I don't know why you're re-peeking this. Yeah, he has a Tech 9, don't re-peek. Oh man. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not a great CC pistol, honestly. But whatever. Okay, Eco Rush. I like the Eco Rush strat with grenades, it's good. Steve gets a kill. William gets a kill. K9 has a shotty. Gets a kill. Good kill reward. Okay, very good eco. Again, we want to be playing committed angles so that they can't isolate 1v1 fights with us. And Steven has picked up an AWP, I guess, from a kill in apps. You might even see what I was talking about, yeah. So you see what I mean? This is a perfect example. You see how this T can come up mid and isolate a fight with Alex? They could do the same thing with you playing on this angle as well. So this positioning is shit. You have no team cohesion, you have no crossfire, which you need on mid. And also you should just want, because you're playing in a team. You're not solo queue. So fix that positioning and you'll have a lot more success because you'll be drawing T's into a crossfire instead of playing these solo angles. So you literally saw the exact same thing from James's perspective, so yeah. Also, okay. Oh, excuse me, I thought Alex was dead. Okay, I like the fact that you've fallen off to a more passive angle and you also have a teammate here. So this is an example of good positioning, because if you, for whatever reason, fail this kill and this guy kills you, Orange can trade, and if he peeks wide and kills Orange, you can trade. So you have a setup with two people, which means that the T has to face two of you at once, and he has no chance of success. So this is good positioning versus the mid positioning, which is bad. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. It's easily fixed, but it's something you need to be aware of on all maps. You need to be thinking about your position in relation to your teammates. There's a whiff on the AWP kill, but it shouldn't matter because you have bomb control on long. You shouldn't be picking here, you have bomb control, but okay. Alright, good round. So this is an example of good positioning. As you see, the T comes out mid, he can't isolate this fight, he can't isolate this fight, he has to commit, he has to swing into mid, means he has a crossfire, easy kill. Easy peasy. All from positioning, guys. Got nothing to do with crosshair placement, nothing to do with aim, just positioning. A large part of this game is positioning. Keep things simple. Overcomplicate things. I don't know what that flash is supposed to do. And yeah, you've let your teammate die here. So, with apps, this is a two-pronged problem. One, it could be that Steve communicates that this is open and James is just not aware that he can get shot, or it's just Steve not coming. And it's kind of the problem. So you can play passive angles like this with an MP9, but of course it depends on the context of the round and where your short player is. There needs to be clear communication that the short guy cannot retreat because there could be an apps guy lurking with the deagle. Because that communication is not in place, or if it is in place, James is just not reacting to it fast enough. The T is able to get a free kill when he only has a deagle, and James has an M4, which is not great. And this is a B take. It's a 3v5? 4v5. Everyone's rotating through mid. There's already a guy fast flanking up from middle. No one's rotating through CT, I should have said. So good thing here to do would have been boost CT, and James has correctly spotted it. So, I don't know, maybe you said, James, excuse me, someone should boost. And I don't know why they haven't listened to you. Or you didn't say it and you needed to say it, because this is the correct play. You should boost someone here, gain sight visibility, and open up 2 angles to attack the site. We don't want everyone coming into church through this narrow choke point. We need to open up an avenue of attack, which is what a boost would have done. So this is a good idea by James, but for some reason it's not being listened to. You also need to be careful of holding CT smoke. You don't want to be too close because the M4 is not particularly effective at very close range. And also, you have to be aware that a T can be in this smoke. So it's a good idea to spam it. Because there's always a risk that if you don't spam it, you might just walk through the T and then they get a fast flank on your team. Yeah, and that's literally exactly what happens. The old run and gun MP9. No, it's a 1v1, which the T should win because all he has to do is not peek and he wins the round. Oh, what a mistake. Holy shit. Just immediately peeks for no reason. Well, as we got lucky there. It's a round you guys probably should not have won. So 3-2. Lost beat control again. Okay, it's good to spam this. You have M4A1S. If you're using this M4 over the other, remember you can spam through smokes and be fairly safe. So... okay, good molly from Alex. Good job. Good utility use. I don't know what Steve's doing. The bomb is... oh, the bomb is down. Okay, that makes more sense. So he's watching for... he's watching for CT rotation. He's hoping that Alex and this guy trade blue. This enemy blue, I mean. And Alex hasn't. K9 does. Steve dies to this guy. How? How'd you die to this guy? It should be an easy kill for you. Yeah, you pick. Okay, it's twice I've seen this from you, Steve. You need more discipline, dude. You keep peeking for no reason. That's okay. Okay. Eco on CT side. There's another eco. Alright, I normally would never ever say you should peek mid. Unless it's a set strat. But on eco, I'll give you a pass. Give you a mid-peek pass. But if I see anyone peeking mid on Inferno on CT side with a rifle, then I will be most displeased. So you actually see here, James, that when you play the closed committed angle at lower levels, players don't even fully clear it, and he doesn't even know that you're here despite looking at you. So it's another reason why it's a good angle. Steve playing B this round? Yeah. Okay, I like this. It's good. So Steve's going B because this guy's presumably AFK for a lot of rounds. I like the fact that he's adapted and has gone B. You need to, I talk about this, perhaps people don't like me talking about it, but with the mentality it's important. If there's a problem, right, you'd not be able to hold B because some idiot's gone AFK, you can either whinge about it and play the same way and just lose the game, or you can try and solve the problem yourself. And trying to solve the problem yourself is the correct way of doing it. So Steven taking the sacrifice, adapting, playing B, which is where this other guy should be playing, is good. This is what you want. You want players that do stuff like this, that, you know, get it done, you know? If no one else is going to play B properly, I'll fucking do it. That's what we want. James is somehow getting kills with a Negev. That's a nice shot on the bottom banana guy. Oh, you probably want to back away. You're low HP. This is not a good angle to play with 20 HP because you're just one hittable. Kenai's playing long, and James has still got the Negev on pit for some reason. I mean, maybe you saw bomb was dropped, but even so, don't fall into the trap of thinking that if the bomb is dropped, you have to, at all costs, defend where the bomb's dropped. You don't. You can just leave it. The safer thing to do would just be fall back to site, play for information or just literally hide on the site. They have to come to the site. Hiding the site is a good chance he doesn't even clear you when he's trying to plant. I don't know what this movement is from James. He's trying to self-boost, maybe? Porch boost. Doesn't make the jump. Boosting is a good idea, though. I would like to see... I guess defense hasn't been too tested, but you don't need to play these static free positions every round. The caller on in your group, right? You're 3 people playing a site. You 3 are on the same site. This gives you a huge advantage. This should give you a massive win rate. Why? Because you can just call what you want to do, right? Like you can call, okay, let's play 2 apps this round. Okay, let's boost this round. Okay, let's play 2 long and 1 apps this round. Let's play 2 short and leave long open because it's the T's are not abusing long takes. You can create setups to react to what the T's are doing. You can have flexibility. You're on a call together. Like you can communicate what the solution is to the weakness in the take. You don't just have to play these static angles every fucking round. Again, it hasn't been tested too much yet, but I don't know how you're getting kills with the Gav. Jesus Christ, these guys are fucking trash. Yeah, this is a shit. Oh, God. Okay. So this is obviously you have an M31S, a very long range gun, and you're going to a super close range angle where if this T has a fucking, he's on an eco, so if he has a Tech 9 or a Mach 10, he actually has an advantage on you. So this is terrible positioning, point 1. Point 2, you're not jiggling properly. Point 3, you're jiggling for no reason. What is the reason to jiggle here? What is the reason to jiggle? The reason to jiggle is to gain information. Why do you need information if he's here? If he's here, he's going to kill you because he's standing here and you're jiggling and you're not stationary, which means you can't shoot because you don't know how to counter-strafe yet. So instead, play a longer range angle because you have an M4A1S and just hold the angle. You shouldn't be jiggling yet because, again, not trying to be mean or anything, but you just don't have the movement mechanics to do it. And this flash isn't going to do anything. Reason being is the only people it would blind is people here, right? Where you don't have a teammate to trade if they're blind. It's not going to blind anyone here, and it's not going to blind anyone bottom mid, even though if it did blind them, it would be pointless. So this is a pointless flash that serves no use at all. Okay, so again, committed angle, T has to peek wide, easy kill for Alex. So that's why we want committed angles. There's a T in the smoke, which probably is going to cause some problems. Don't know how he doesn't kill 3 of you when your backs are turned. James is playing up. Oh, you don't have mid spawn though, James. Yeah, you don't have mid spawn. So you can't pick mid with this spawn, at least at a good level of CS, because you don't have the timing. You have a banana spawn, so you could go banana and take top banana. So if you're playing AWP, you have to understand that you can't just play AWP like a rifle. It's not how the game works. AWP is a specific role. You have to understand timings. You have to understand spawns. If you had Alex's spawn, you could pick mid. You don't, so picking mid, which I guess is what you're going to do based on your pathing route, is not a good idea. But maybe you get a kill because it's... Right, I don't think you do by based on this. Because your timing is shit. He can get to ramp before you. Yeah, and you don't scope here because there can't be an opponent second mid yet. You get here, no scope, as in you're not scoped. I shouldn't say no scope because fucking COD. You move here, then you scope, and then because you had the spawn timing, you'll get to this angle before the T. But because you have shit timing, and because you're scoping here and slowing down, you're not able to take this angle quickly enough. And yeah, you get punished for it. It's also a solo play, right? You don't have anyone helping you, and now your 2 A players are in solo positions, and fucking Steve is solo pushing apps. Yeah, what is going on here, guys? You're a pre-made of 3 people, and you're all doing solo things. Use the advantage that you have that you're in a call together. You're 3 people in a call. Why are you all doing a solo thing? James is peeking mid with bad timing, and then Steve's solo pushing apps. And I don't think Alex is going to be able to do anything here. Yeah, he's just dead. Okay, Eco on Banana Rush. Okay. 2 Eco kills. Okay, Ecos are fine. Ecos are good. You see how much damage... By the way, you see how much damage you do on an Eco versus guys? Because they can't handle aggression. Imagine if you actually had coordinated aggression with 2 people pushing apps at the same time, or getting into second mid and having a more passive A-take. You'd be like 10-1 up. Like, these opponents should not be taking rounds off you. Okay, you're playing committed angles, so this is a bit better. I still don't like Steve playing solo apps, and especially with a fucking M4 and this close range angle. Where he has a disadvantage and is also jiggling, which means that he's inaccurate because he doesn't know how to jiggle properly. Oh, I think James is about to get... Okay, so they smoke long. So what do I do if they smoke long? That's probably a good question. So there's 2 execute smokes that they can throw. One smokes long, isolate the short guy. One smokes short, isolate the long guy. If they throw a smoke and isolates your opponent, what you can do if you have a utility is you can throw your Molotov through the smoke, you can throw your HE through the smoke, and if you have an A1S, you can spam. And I believe there's a smoke here, which I think James threw, which is a good thing that James did. So you can also throw a smoke through mid, so it means when they execute through the smokes, they have to come through smokes, so that's good. See what I mean? Like, what is the point? What is the point in jiggling? There's no reason to, right? You jiggle, you're like, oh shit, he's there, now I need to correct my aim, and I'm dead. This is, to me, it's like someone, like, who's too ahead of themselves. They're not doing the fundamental things, and then they're trying to add things which they don't understand yet, or why people do them, on top of the fundamentals without being good at the fundamentals. So if you have an M for a long range, take a more long range angle, don't jiggle, just hold the angle and then have good communication, or play the barrel position. You'll have a lot more success than whatever the fuck is going on in balcony. Okay, so James gets... And because of this, obviously, James gets killed because now balcony's open, which means that James can be split upon and he's solo because of this smoke, and now Alex is the bomb. So we'll see how Alex plays this. Brings his teammates through. Teammate peeks for no reason. Dies for an op, okay? It's a solo push and apps again. Again, if you're gonna do aggro plays, have team cohesion so that if you die, your teammate can trade, or if your teammate dies, you can trade, or have some team play element as opposed to just solo rushing something. Because what's the point? You don't need to worry about back. Okay, so here's a good tip for you. You're worried about 2 angles because you think about Balk and you're worried that he might flash out. If you're in a situation where you're worried about 2 angles, it's normally because you've got bad positioning or bad pathing. Do you have bad positioning or pathing in this situation? Yes. Why? Because your apps guy's got himself killed. So when your apps guy's got himself killed, you have to realize, okay, I probably shouldn't play here. I should probably try and exit this safely, then check this, and then get into a position like pit, where I can no longer be pushed from 2 angles, or if I am pushed from 2 angles, short and apps, I can isolate each, right? I can isolate short, I can isolate apps, okay? But because you haven't done that, because you're a newer player, you are in a situation where you can get attacked from 2 angles, and this can happen on many maps. For example, Dust 2B site. So what do I do if I can be attacked from 2 angles? Here's what you do. You can't hold both. You can't look here, then look here, then look here, then look here. You can't do it. So pick one, gamble, and hope that you get lucky. Because it's much better than doing both at the same time. It's better to hold one angle properly than to hold both angles poorly, okay? So there's a general tip for you. James gets a nice kill on the apps lurk. The AWP guy whiffs, so he trades that guy. I don't know what Pat's doing, but James gets on a defuse and wins the round. Okay, so CT side, positioning is not great, honestly. make the corrections I told you on CT side, and you'll have a much better time of things. Play the committed angles when you have the crossfire. So cubby and committed porch side. If they start using smoke execs, then you can play the angles you want because you don't have to worry about the smoke. For apps, stop solo pushing apps and stop playing angles like this when you have an M4. Instead, play close to the barrel and take a more passive angle so that if your short guy's pushed, you can help, and also you can still watch apps safely. Or you can play pit. And also, I would like to see the IGL, whoever it is, calling a bit more variation on setups if the setup starts getting broken. So, for example, if they start smoking long, playing double up on short on one guy apps, or if you notice that Steven's struggling to play apps, move him somewhere. Tell him that you'll boost him. I mean, I think, James, you had the Negev and Steven had the M4. Boost Steven with the M4 so Steve can play on the top. You can play on the bottom with the Negev and bait for him a bit. You know, some more variation on CT side would be good. Honestly, not a particularly great CT side. Yes, 6-6, but like this elo rating is fine for Alex. He's new. It shouldn't be fine for you guys. You should be wanting to be a much better elo rating than this. And in order to do that, you got to fix these like mistakes. Because it's not like high level mistakes. It's just very basic things. Okay, so Alex gets deleted. James gets a good trade on the car guy. Okay, I like this. There's one quality about James that I really like in CS is that he's a bull in the sense that he will just fucking charge things down, which is great. Obviously, it needs to be controlled, though. It can't just be constant aggression. However, you have a very good quality, which is you're naturally an aggressive player. So use that on T side, okay? Try to mold yourself into a aggressive player. You also play this well, which is you get to a set spot. I don't know what Steve's doing. Steve, you're 20 HP. You're in a 2v2 bombs down. You need to be thinking about a good position you can get to, that you can buy time, and also that you can play with your teammate. Instead, you've just moved away from your teammate, and you've now put yourself in an isolated situation when you have low HP, which is not great, right? Because you help James here, which is good. I would like, ideally, for you to just be holding CT while he plants, but maybe you think once ruins, which is fine. But as soon as bomb's down... Also, don't switch to USB. Glock is way better than a USP at all of these ranges. There's no reasons to swap to USB, a small thing, but still important. But look, a much better play would be to come to new box and you can have a crossfire with James. If they try to push you from your left side, James will see them. If they try to push James, you will see them. Great crossfire. Instead of having a 2v2 setup, you isolate yourself. You give them a singular fight on you when you have 20 HP. And you re-peek! And also, if this is James calling, James, you can tell Steve this. You can say, "Hey, play new box" as soon as you get the bomb down. You know, you don't. You can. I mean, I know you don't want to micro, but it's better than just having this mess. Alex wasn't much to say. He died on entry, which is fine. Okay, second round. Maxan. Key with banana is you want pace. You want fast pace takes on banana. You don't have to overcomplicate things at this rank. You just need to get up there quickly. See, like, James, for example, has third spawn, so he's third in line, and he's entering. That is a problem, because it means the first two people, what are they doing? Why are these two people not entering? Why are you and Steve not entering, right? James should be third here. Instead, he's first, because you two guys are fucking around and not entering. Okay, you get a good trade there, but you should be going now. You're buying time for this rotator to move. You're throwing a Molotov, which doesn't land. Right, now just... Okay. No, you've got to... Your teammate's planting the bomb, what are you doing? Jesus Christ. Okay, this is a little worrying. It's only 2 rounds in, so hopefully it gets better. Okay, first point about banana. The point of banana, especially at low ranks, when we play CS, let's try to just get the fundamentals right, and then we can worry about site execute grenades and that kind of thing. What is the purpose of this Molotov? It's to flush someone out. Why do we want to flush them out? So that the entry fragger can kill them more easily. There's no point throwing flush utility when you have no one in a position to capitalize off it. Because if you molly, and the molly actually lands, this time it didn't, and it hits this guy can just leave the molly, reposition anywhere on the site, and no one is in a position to benefit from it. Because James, who entries when he's third in line, so he would be right in saying that he got baited here. He entries in third in line, dies, Alex trades, and then instead of following through on the kill and getting onto the site before rotation arrives, you both stagnate, you're fucking around with utility, and then when you finally do get onto the site, the CT's already close and can pressure you. And then, when Alex goes to plant, you're not even covering the plant because you're too busy hunting down a ruins kill instead of worried about protecting your site planter. So this is a real mess of a round. Okay, Glock eco. Okay, making a lot of noise, so I guess it's not a slow play. Okay, James is entering again. What are you... Yeah, again, what is this, guys? Okay, so T side on ecos, one word, overrun. That's what you want to be thinking on T side ecos. You want to be overrunning. You want to maximize the advantage that you have 5 people in most cases, 3 in this case, against possibly 2, or in apps possibly 1. You don't want to be splitting up. First point. Secondly, when James takes this fight, you need to be going with him, not throwing pointless grenade. So don't buy a HE, buy a Tech 9 so you can run and gun. And when James takes this fight, make sure that you're ready. Steven should be here as well. James swings, takes this fight. Alex and Steve should be running up with him, overrunning this guy, making him panic, getting the entry. Because again, James is entering here, Alex gets killed by the trade, and where are the other teammates? Steven's walking out apps with a Glock, so it's completely pointless. And somehow you are given a round by K9, who bails you out of that, I think 1v3, which is actually insane that you end up winning that. But hopefully the full buys are a bit better than so far. Okay, so it's good that Steve's checking sandbags. That's good. Okay, you've checked it now. Ugh. So if this Molotov is to be useful, these two need to be running in now. And what are they doing? Nothing. So the Molotov is not useful. So it's one or the other, guys. If you want to use these set grenades, I personally wouldn't. I would keep things super simple and focus on fundamentals such as spacing, entry pathing, and things like that. But if you want to use set executes with Molotovs and stuff, you need to have the coordination that when you throw the Molotov, these two guys are pushing together and entering. I don't know what that smoke was. Okay. Again, the pacing is so slow on this site take, it buys so much time for rotation, although you have a guy in CT. And ironically, when it would be great to have a Molotov, you now don't have a Molotov because you threw it earlier to flush out a position which you couldn't capitalize on. And because you don't have that Molotov, he gets a kill. And he gets 2 kills on a Felico. Unfortunately, it's cleaned up. Christ. Okay, good entry by James. It's traded. Good trade. Good. Right, 2 kills B. We should be rushing B. This should be fast, 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 fast. Okay, cover the planter. You need to be getting into after plant positions. This is not a good one, but whatever. Okay, a bit better. Okay, so James is playing AWP. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of you playing AWP, James, just because you are the most mechanically skilled player on this team, right? Out of these guys. So why would you be playing AWP? Like, they need you to entry. If you don't entry, who's next in line? It's Steven or Alex. Are they going to have the same entry success as you? Probably not. Are you going to have the same impact with an AWP? Probably not. Especially not on T-side Inferno. Now, if you really want to be an AWPer, then whatever. But is it really useful to have... Like, are you going to have the same impact with this gun than you're going to have with an AK? Probably not, right? Also, like, it's... Even at the highest level, there's not much AWPing done on T side unless from specific players who are combat AWPs, meaning they play in sort of close range. They almost use the AWP like a shotgun, and that's not what I recommend you do. Okay, I guess this was the smoke that you were throwing before. And it smoked yourself off banana. So, oh, it's a front sight smoke. No, it's just a failed smoke. Okay, so yeah, maybe let's focus more specifically on entry pathing and just entering rather than throwing utility, because it's not great. Okay, good kill from Alex. Didn't really see much of it. And a bomb is A. Okay, nice. Is he gonna walk into your AWP? No. Okay, good entry from Steve. We need the pacing that follows the entry. I know you're worried about mid because James has called it as mid takes, but you've killed 2 on B, and if they're pushing mid, that you know it's unlikely that there's a guy on B, because if there was, they wouldn't be pushing down mid. Okay. Match points. This should be GG. Also, you're using this Molotov every round, so if you're using this Molotov every round, if there's a guy that plays here and gets mollied out once, then he knows not to play this position anymore because you're throwing this Molotov. So, it kind of defeats the point, right? Like, if you use it once and flash someone out, they're just not going to play the same position again. Besides the fact that the Molotov's not useful because you're not actually scaling with it. You see what I mean? Like, if he was in the Molotov, he's just moved. And then James has to try and entry with an AWP, which I don't think he's going to be able to do. And he also has Steve in front of him. So if this guy just peeked and James missed for whatever reason, he would just get an insta double kill on both of you. And yeah, now it's probably going to... he doesn't kill James because he doesn't overcommit. Okay, James finds one. Are you using mouse wheel to swap grenades, James? I hope not. Oh, okay. Yeah, does for scout. I wouldn't play off on T side. Pointless grenade again. Listen, Alex is doing the pointless Molotov. Nice. He doesn't land it either. William hits a pretty good shot. 3v1, GG. Alright, so T-side thoughts. I thought the B takes are a bit messy. The pacing is the biggest problem. Banana takes too slow. A lot of pointless grenades being used without people understanding the point of the grenade or being able to capitalize on them because there's not enough synergy or cohesion. If you want my advice, I would scale back the grenades. I would have very simple smokes, smoke CT, maybe a smoke coffins, which actually works, and then just practice going in as a 5 with good spacing, able to trade the site guys and have better pacing. That's the first point. The second point, I feel like there's a little bit too much hesitation, especially on following up with the entry, which I thought James did a very good job of when he had an AK. And third point, I'm not a fan of James using AWP on T-side Inferno. I'm not really a fan of James AWPing in general, because I think if we're talking purely in terms of how to maximize success, I think you should just be playing to your strengths, which is an aggressive rifler. I think it's pretty clear that Alex is more of a sort of passive rifler. Steve and I don't know yet. There's some rounds where he's aggressive, some rounds that he's passive. In a team, you want a good mix. You want more aggressive players, and you want more passive players, and you want more cohesion. So yeah, that's my Inferno demo review. I realize it's very critical, I suppose. So I'm just trying to give you as much information as possible. I really don't think that this is a rank that you should be like happy with. I think you should be at least aiming for like 12k, all of you. Not Alex, obviously. Alex is new, so you know. Don't be as hard on yourself, Alex. But Steve and James should be aiming for around 12k. These are like you should be finding a lot more success than you are. And if you watch this video and you spot all these positional mistakes, fix the CT side positioning, have a bit more discipline with solo pushing, have more team play in terms of the buy rounds, because it was great team play on ecos. Why can that not also take place on the full buys? You know. And then on T side, don't worry so much about having all this utility use. Worry more about having this synergy of pacing so that you can push together with good pacing and trade. Especially at this lower level. At this low level, you don't need site executes with a ton of smokes, ton of molotovs, ton of flashbangs. You just need to go in, hit your shots, and you need to have better pacing and not just have James go in alone and then 10 seconds later someone else goes in alone, and then 10 seconds later a third person goes in alone. Anyway, hopefully that was useful. And if you want a demo review, you can send it in and similarly get murdered by critique, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.